So yeah, Sheldon. So we're back here for part 2. We're inside with a man that we've been catching up for time. To be honest with you, you know what I mean. Big shout out to Don with the warm up. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, let's go, man.
But yeah, man. So like, Sheldon, talk to us about not what you do, but what you're now doing and what you're seeing out there. Because listen, we're from the generation. Would you say we're 2 generations ago or a generation ago? What would you say, Max?
Generation.
We're like a generation ago, yeah. And in my opinion, it's getting worse because I just feel like more people, more young boys, and even young girls now are now jumping onto this, this kind of like road thing now, right? So, in your opinion, what are you seeing out there? Like, what's happening?
Why is it getting worse?
Yeah, like why?
I think there's a darkness and a desensitization amongst young people, because I think the parallel world they've created, which is we're the judge, the jury, and the executioners. So they don't have police; they are the police. They don't have jailhouse; they have coffins or hospital. So in the world that they have now created, each generation have got worse. So for instance, if we was to go back to my days, we were bad, but not that bad if you look in comparison. But then if you was to match us with the crime families, we were nothing. Or one step further, look at the football hooligans, we were nothing. But within our own mind frame, we are something. Now, what happened was, and this is where I think it went wrong, we didn't leave a legacy. It meant so every generation after us didn't have a legacy of procedures. Mafia and crime families have procedures.
I can agree.
You know, they have
rules, morals,
you know, there's certain things the mafia just won't do. There's certain things the Yakuza won't do. There's certain things the triads won't do. There's certain things that the cartel, forget the cartels, they do anything. Sorry, I made a mistake on that one. But there were certain things that the crime families won't do. One of them is crime families will not allow anyone to sexually exploit or rape women. Yeah, that's a no-no. If you are working for the crime family, maybe lower down the ranks, and they find out that you raped women, you're as good as dead, because that's their code. On you, man. Yeah, on the mafia, they won't really commit a crime on a Sunday because most mafiosi are Catholics.
Family.
Yeah. So and they believe in this family thing. It's heavy. If you look at the Irish mob, they believe in family and Catholic. They're very much religious. Heavy. Okay, the Jamaicans are very much religious, but they're a bit like the Mexicans. It's religion on their ground. Whereas the mafia,
in the name of
you know what I mean. Whereas the mafia, they try to stick to that. So when in relevance to your question, when you say what am I seeing, I am seeing what I would call demonic behavior. Now, some people don't understand demonic. I'm talking about when you are.
But they even say that themselves. Unlike their in drill tunes and that. And they might be talking about demon time.
They do. You're correct.
Jay Huss is the number one.
They embrace that.
He keeps talking about the devil and
that. Right. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. So if they're embracing,
all of them, man.
But if you're embracing the dark side like that, is there really any hope then? Is that it?
Not really. There is hope, but it depends on. At the moment, there's just not enough adult men from that lifestyle before coming forward to work with them man there. So, for instance, you got certain men like Gwenton, Junior Smart, certain people who have been on this road thing, who are now working. There's another guy that's well known. He was a former gang member too. He's working with, but there's not enough because what
are they doing? Working with the youth? Man that you just named.
Yeah, they're working with gang members.
Okay, shout out to them.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm mentioning their names. There's another brother. Can't remember his name's Lawrence. He is working with gang members, but there's just not enough adult men. So when you ask the question, can anything be done? The answer is yes, but there's the reason why it doesn't appear. There's just not enough of us. So, for instance, if you look at what I'm doing tomorrow on Tuesday, I'm in Cumbria. Do you know where that is?
That's cool.
Near Scotland. When I say Cumbria,
I hope you getting a
are
train.
you? Why? What? People be thinking, is there gangs in Cumbria? Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you wouldn't believe it.
Yeah.
The other day I went to Cornwall.
Cornwall.
So what do you do when you get there? What do they want you to do when
Basically,
you get
what happens, a youth offending team will have 6 young people who are involved in county lines, so they want me to come and talk. Now, without blowing my own trumpet in any shape, way or form, I have to admit, when I finished talking to them man there in Cornwall, they all stepped off. But that doesn't happen all the time.
How old were they?
They were 15, 16, 17. None of them was over 17. None of them.
Just before you can save them, almost though. That's a good age. I feel.
Yeah, but
I think that's too late.
Too late.
It is too late.
Yeah.
But I was very lucky and fortunate in this case because I frightened the hell out of them. Because there were a bunch of white kids from a middle class background who thought it was fun.
Yeah, that's what it is. A lot of the time, I feel like, especially out of London, out of inner cities, I feel like that's like a trend. Not a trend, but like what would you call it? What's the word I'm looking for, man? We're gonna have to edit this bit. No.
If I had a show reel of all the times I've had to edit Mantas out saying that,
It is like a trend.
Like a fabrication thing.
Yeah.
What's that word, man? No, like a false image. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
they're
not
faking
real.
it. They're fake. I mean, to be
we know what you mean anyway, bro. It's calm, man.
They're faking. They're faking.
Bro,
They're faking it.
Brain freeze.
It's all right, bro. We know what you mean, man.
I mean, they were faking it, and so what happens? They will invite me down, and obviously, like I'm talking to you guys in part 1. In fact, I don't even think I even spoke about their generation before one of them said, like, brother, I don't even want this no more. Because what happens, the realism...
What do you make them...
Yeah, like,
because the realism hits them. The first thing I say to them, bruv, you're not black. Why are you trying to speak black to me, bruv? You know what I'm saying?
What's speaking black, though?
Bruv, they speak... I'm telling you now, if you close your eyes, you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. They listen to so much trap and drill music that their words is... Okay, you see how like us talking?
Yeah.
They talk like us. Normal.
But I talk like that.
Yeah,
but there's a difference.
Yeah.
You're not faking it.
Okay,
You're up in it as well.
Because you said, 1, you're from Lithuania.
Yeah.
2, you hang around with a lot of black guys where you're...
That's what I was infused into Newham.
Right. Now, and that's what I'm saying. So there's a difference. They're not in Newham.
That's true.
Where are they? Cornwall.
So
you cannot tell
why do you
me...
sound like us? Yeah.
I can understand a white kid who is in Newham or South London somewhere.
Who's in the city,
Who's in the city, who grows up with a lot of black kids around. That's all right. If that's not faking it, that's just you. Like from 5 years old, you've moved down to...
But you know what? We was even saying in the last podcast about that as well.
21 Savage was born in Newham. I don't know if you know the rapper.
Of course I know him. And then he went to America and everybody thought he's American.
That's it.
But that's what happened. You climatise. Now, you can't climatise in Cornwall because there's no black people there. So I'm saying... I would understand if I was I get invited to schools in Newham.
Yeah. So like for example, if you went to Cornwall and these men were acting bad in their Cornwall accent, you would have been more respectful.
Of course,
you man are doing your thing.
Of course. But when you're trying to, like for instance, bruv, I'm gonna tell you how he greeted me at the door. Like, so I've got into the building and he's come up to me and he's like, "Yo, my nigga."
So you was already at that moment.
So joking.
I'm over 50.
Yeah.
You don't say yo. Listen.
Yeah.
When I spoke to London Fields, they were all using the N-word. By the time I finished, they had to stop using it because I said to them, "Listen."
And they were all black.
Good.
They were all black. They were all using the N-word. And I said, "Listen, bruv. Do you know how much of us died in slavery over that word? Do you know how much of us died recently? Bruv, don't be talking that N-word to me. I'm over 50. And that's when I realised the whole world's gone mad because too many black guys are using the N-word. So these white kids think, well, it's okay to use it.
Desensitize it.
Yeah.
So, I feel like it comes from America more so.
Yeah.
You know
but more and more white kids are saying it here. But listen, if I took you to some places, for instance, I'm going to Oxford, okay? Oxford is a middle class area. There's hardly any deprivation in Oxford.
It's lovely.
Right? Yeah. Beautiful area.
That's what
wait, but I don't want to go too much into the N-word thing though. But because obviously we said that at the door he greeted you.
Yeah, he greeted me like
with
that.
the N-word.
And so that put my back up straight away.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Because like if someone greeted me like that, I was in Cornwall, some white boy greeted me like that.
Yeah.
But he wasn't being disrespectful. Straight away, I would freeze.
But Luke, imagine you're 58 years old and my man is 15.
Yeah.
So that's a different...
Sorry, carry on.
So basically, when I went in, I was off key already, straight. So I just went in on the murder business straight. Right? And so when I started to tell him about how bodies are dropped, and how I've lost 9 people to gun crime and all of that, and man got double tapped to the head and all that kind of stuff. He began to realise, and he began to swear, and it wasn't just him. There's about several other guys, yeah. But what I was trying to show them, I'm not telling you can't listen to trap and drill. I'm not saying that, because I know, it's good that they respect the black culture or music. I'm not knocking that, but I'm just thinking, I said to him, what you've done is that you're paying respect to the music, but now you're assimilating the culture. And assimilating the culture.
Live the life on purpose.
You know what I mean? You can't assimilate the culture and then expect when you meet a black guy, he's going to be happy that you've...
But do you know what, though? I think, like what Man said, what did you just say? What you just said, Dara, what Potter said.
Oh, yeah.
All right, anyway. But what
Potter
Potter
said... They're
said...
trying to do it on purpose, yeah.
Yeah, but what Potter said, the Potter paper, you know about that rapper? Mm-hmm. Right? I don't know if he's white. He looks white to me.
Algerian.
He's Algerian guy, right?
Yeah,
so he's African.
Yeah. North African.
North African. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, he looks white. Anyway.
I
think, in my opinion, the white kids that live in other places in the UK look at those guys from our culture and embrace them more than they embrace us, because they're like, wow, they're getting accepted into the culture sort of thing. So I think they get more. For example, when I speak to Mance says he used to love Eminem back in the day.
Yeah,
you see what I'm saying? Eminem is like not an abbreviation,
but in the same breath,
yeah,
I liked 50 Cent same way.
Right, but then I liked
but
Eminem as well.
Look at
you feel
Eminem,
me?
though.
I don't know. But where do you think they get it from? I don't know. Do you think?
I already know what you're about to say. Eminem comes from the same thing. Like, I grew up in Newham.
Yeah, but
grew up in
but
Detroit.
Eminem doesn't try to be black.
Yeah,
though.
exactly.
I'm sorry. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah,
Eminem does not try. Listen,
but then that's what I'm saying.
himself.
Either
He's
does
himself. And that's
but
what I'm saying.
either does Potter paper, yeah. Either does Mance. Either does people that are from the culture. When you know them, you're like, oh, it. Like they're not forcing it. That's what I'm saying. I think that those white boys from those other places look at someone like Mance or Potter Paper or Eminem and then go, oh, they can do it, so I can do it. It's like, no, they're from there.
Well, we know Eminem. We know where he's
You
from.
see what I'm saying?
We know he's from the gutter.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Detroit.
That's what I'm saying. But I think they look at the white boy version of themselves from the places that we're from. Or,
they
I don't
were
know.
listening to 6-7. When I got down
Right,
there,
you,
they
yeah.
were listening to 6-7. So when
I try to make sense of it, innit? I don't get it.
It doesn't, bro. It doesn't.
I just think that when you look at, this is how I look at Eminem and the Beastie Boys. Yeah, I respect them 100%. Even though I don't sort of listen to a lot of their music because it swears a lot, right? But when you listen to Eminem and the Beastie Boys, they don't try to act black. They don't even try and act black on record. If you listen to Eminem...
If anything, he embraced the white trash.
He embraced it. And not only that, he embraces black culture, but he doesn't change who he is. And what I was saying to these kids, there's nothing wrong in you listening to trap and drill, but don't embrace something that you fully don't understand, and then you're going to come and greet me with that nonsense.
Yeah.
So when I finished there, I think there was about 7 people in there. I think bar one, all of them said that they're not bothering. So what happened was, obviously they could have just said that. So I phoned their parents about 2 or 3 weeks later. Parents like, I don't know what you said, but he's not going out no more. He ain't trying to go out no more. Because sometimes, this is what I keep saying to people. Why are we pussyfooting around young people?
It's a big issue.
Drop it big to them. Like, when I go to London Fields or any of them, man, they fought and leave, I'm not going to go down there and strike, bruv, I understand. No, I'm not. I'm going to go down there and say, bruv, you're not a gangster. Shut up. Like, you are not a bad man. Bad man, okay, come with me. Let's go and firebomb the National Front then, bruv. If you're such a bad man. Because that's the problem with us. We keep pussyfooting around these guys, trying to sympathise and understand their dilemma.
Know what it is? Go on. Sorry, go on.
No, go on.
No, I feel like personally, the world is becoming more sensitive to everything. Like, you can't say this, you can't do that, you can't say this. So it's easier to look bad now. Do you know what I mean? To act bad, to come across bad, because everything is so sensitive around you. So that touches on what you're saying. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, to me, I just took the work that I do. So, for instance, when I did that piece of work there, and obviously I'm going to Cumbria on Tuesday, yeah? But then I'm going to be going to Nottingham. Now, in Nottingham, obviously, you've got gangsters. So you've got St. Anne's.
You're Nottingham, serious.
And there's some who are serious. I'm going to go in there hardcore. I'm not going to go in there with this nonsense about, I understand because you've got an absent dad. Shut up about
They
your
see
absent
through
dad,
it, though.
bruv,
Real people
because,
see through it.
You know what I mean? You've got to go in there hard. And I think the problem with us in this society, and I think
Do they only respond to that way? From
Yes.
your experiences, how do they respond?
From my experience, it works.
Yeah.
But a lot of workers are scared of doing it that way.
Because they're scared of them?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that. I would say this. It's back to what... Sorry. Mantas. It's back to what Mantas was saying. And I feel it's to do with the agency they work for. Now, when you work for a statutory agency, you can't go in hard.
You can't. There's certain lines you can't cross.
It's all
you
these
can't say
all
all
these, policies,
guidelines.
Right.
Yeah,
you can't say this, don't say that. That's why it's not working.
Yeah,
that's why
100%.
we've got continuous
That's
riots.
why we got to do it.
Right. So that's why when you've got people like Gwent and Junior Smart, myself, and there are others. Sorry, I haven't mentioned the name, but there are others. Right. We go in hard because we've realised. When we were young, if we had somebody coming in hard on us, we would have bowed out. Do you know what I'm saying? I mean,
it makes you wake up like raw.
Yeah, it does. It puts you in reality.
Because you know what, people, you have to understand that the boys that and the girls that are from this lifestyle, they're only used to a certain temperature. You know what I'm trying to say? They only respond to certain temperatures. And if you're not coming to them on their level, where it's tense, you know what I'm trying to say, and they're used to living on a tense level, and every conversations they have are very intense.
Listen.
They're not even gonna take it in.
Yeah.
So you have to come at them with a certain level where they're listening to you and they can take you in properly. Because a lot of the time, when you go back to the hood and you're having certain conversations with man, or you're watching certain people have conversations, you can see how intense the conversation is, and they're just cool with it. You know what I'm trying to say? So imagine now when you're trying to change someone's life. You know what I mean? How you got to come at them.
Yeah. And I feel like you have to have passion if you're doing the job that you're doing.
You got to see that you care. Yeah, 100%.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, for me, it's a case of like, obviously I do a lot of psychological stuff. Yeah, so I do a lot of psychotherapy and cognitive behavior therapy. Right?
CBT.
Yeah, CBT. So
I studied psychology in sixth form.
So there you are, and you mix it in with your approach. So what I've done, I've looked at that CBT, psychotherapy, all of that kind of talking therapy stuff, but mix it in with the hardcore message of reality. So, for instance, when I speak to actual gang members, like if I go 40 for Croydon, one of them man there, and I'm seeing 410 or 67 or any of them man there, I always come and talk about from a demonic sense. So I talk about the nightmares you're gonna have.
Yes.
You understand?
Yes.
So when you start talking about nightmares, like man's like, wow, because I'm saying to them, when that brother shot at me and missed and blew the guy's head off, I said, boy, I never slept for about a whole year. Yeah. So man's like, what? Yeah. Because he doesn't. He's not even thinking that.
Yeah, people. Let me tell you something. Sorry, sure. I'm gonna double on what you're saying. Yeah, cool. I got an eye patch in it. Some of you may or may not know why I've got that. Yeah, but the real thing why I like talking about this thing is because I don't think you man understand what your mind is about to do to you. They don't get it, innit? And let me tell you something. Yeah. Let me tell you something. For those of you that are listening, you will never, ever defeat your mind.
No,
yeah?
You can't.
Yeah? Let me tell you something.
You can't do it.
You can't.
Everything you're doing now, or everything you're experiencing now, is saving somewhere in a hard drive in your brain. When it's ready, it's going to come for you.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to deal with that, and you don't know how to process any of that, you are finished. Yeah? And you might not be finished now. Yeah? It might get you in 5, 10, 15 or 20 years, but it's coming, I'm telling you. And that's why a man like Sheldon are here, because they're people that have gone through this and have lived it, and they're still living with it, and they're trying to tell you. You know what I'm saying?
Literally.
They're trying to tell you,
you don't want to do this.
You don't want to deal with this.
I mean, so when you start dropping it like that to them, man, they're like, you ain't gonna be sleeping, bruv. Like you're gonna act like what? And for years, I acted like it never affected me. It did. Do you know what I'm saying?
100%.
Like, it's affecting you to the point where you can't even have a relationship with your kids. That's how it affected me. Like, and I'm not even talking just relationship. I just wasn't thinking straight. And I'm going to be honest, I had to pretend I was normal.
Right. Convince yourself.
I had to try to pretend.
So, and that's the worst thing, because you see people trying to pretend they're okay.
You know what I mean?
And they're finished. You can see it.
know.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying to them, man. When I talk to them, man, I'm always talking from a demonic sense. Like, bruv, you don't even know like what you're going to be going through. You know, you think, because I'm young now and I popped up a brother. That I said, bruv,
real demons are
when
coming.
when you go to sleep, the real and I said you can sit here and front it out, because that's what they do. Like 14 and all them, and they front out things. Yeah,
100%.
So they front out and they try to make out like, I'm gonna tell you now. I know for a fact, most of them, if not 75% of gangs, all gangs, black, white, Asian, don't matter what color, are having sleepless nights.
Yes.
When I say sleepless nights,
and I bet
someone
you,
getting up in cold sweat.
And I bet you none of them man even know who each other's even getting through it.
Exactly.
I bet you any money.
And it could be for any reason, bro. It could be for the dirt you've done.
You know what I mean? And I just think that
worried.
if all workers are tackled it from that point of view, we would win the war. Because we can't. The problem with a lot of workers, the word demons or demonic is scary to them. You know what I'm saying? A normal worker would be like, oh no, that sounds religious, bruv. That's how they're talking on road. When you talk to gang members, when I was in America and I was talking to them New York gang members, they were talking about the Illuminati. They were talking about things like that. So you can't pretend they're not going to talk about
Listen, this is
it.
black people we're talking about predominantly, and these man from their cultures, they're talking about, African culture and Caribbean culture. We know about
Black
demons
magic.
and bad spirits.
Yeah.
So if you talk to us about demons and bad spirits, we know what you're talking about.
Exactly.
And when you're not talking about, alright, cool. If you're talking about Islam, you're talking about jinn. You know what I'm trying to say? We know about bad spirits, bro. You know what I'm trying to say? So when these men are on their music thing and they're talking about demons and evil spirits and bad, cool. You can lay into it if that's what you think is gonna help you deal with it. But I'm telling you right now, right? You either go all the way to the point where you live a life of that for the rest of your life and you lean into it, or you have to deal with your mind now and learn how to deal with it now, or because you can stop, and this is what I'm trying to say, you can jump off, and you can stop doing it, but this is going to come for you one day. So when you've experienced
So
things,
you're saying that essentially for certain man it's too late?
Nah, it's not too late. That's another thing. I don't want to talk like it's too late.
Because if you're already done it and you want to turn it around,
it's not too late for you.
No, it's never.
Look at you. You're standing. You're pretty coherent.
It's
You know what I
never
mean?
too late. I just think
You can
it's
get
what
help.
you were saying that we have to. I think the problem is that we need more men to go out to let them recognise the signs of what's going to happen to them. You understand? The sleepless nights, the sweats, the dreams that's going to come up.
The voices.
How does a next man, not somebody that does what you do, as per se like a profession, or you know what I'm saying, like an advisor, counselling advisor or whatever. Me and Luke, just random guys. How do we, if we want to go and talk to them, how do we do that? If we think that we can change it and, you know what I'm saying, have an impact.
But you can have an impact because, number one, right, you may not have had my experiences, but you've got a different experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that experience they can relate to.
No, I know that me and him, or anyone, innit? Any given person, if they have it in them, they can go and talk to them. But I'm saying, how would we?
But there isn't a procedure. This is what the government always tries to get out of people like me and Gwenton and others. They're trying to figure out what is it so that they can steal it and run it. Let me tell you about this. This thing.
Don't give out your gems then. Don't even tell them how you link up with them.
Natural, I bet.
It's an individual natural thing. So for instance, like,
just care, bro.
Like
really care.
Reach out
like
thing.
You're in Stratford, you've just gone into Westfields.
Yeah.
You see 4 men sitting on a corner doing nothing. You go, like, yo, well, go on, brethren. Well, go on, fam. Like, and they'll be like, nah, because you're a bigger man, you don't look young, but you don't look old. They would be a bit weird and they'd be like, wow, why has this man come up to us?
Yeah.
So your first words are going to be quite important. Do you understand? So again, it's down to how, when you see certain people, how you feel that you need to say certain things to them, because you will find the words. There isn't. This is what I'm trying to show people. There isn't a format to this.
Yeah. It's how you carry yourself.
It's how you carry yourself and how you come across. Like, you mans are all younger than me, right?
Yeah.
Now, you two are doing the interview, talking and stuff, but I'm relating, even though I'm way older than you, to what's coming out of your mouth. and I'm feeding back into you, and you're understanding me, even though I'm way older than you.
Yeah.
So it's communication skills, and I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is not. I'm not trying to separate any colour here, but black people are very good at communicating, but we do it negatively. We do it negative. Not all, because I know people are going to get offended.
Standoffish.
Yeah, but we do it quite negatively.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
so for instance, let me explain. Back in our days, right, a long time ago in the 70s, you couldn't walk past a black person without, respect done. Yeah? You couldn't. It's impossible. Now, doesn't happen. Young black kids screw young black kids. Not all. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
So there's something.
All right, cool.
missing.
I'm gonna explain that.
There's also the nod as well.
No, because let's give context, because what OG is saying
The
is
nod,
true.
like the acknowledgement. Like I feel like that's what it is today.
nod.
Yeah.
Because like I think from back in the day, yeah, for me, what I realized that it started is that like I used to, back in the day when I used to see young black boys and that, I used to look to be like, oh, yo, who is that? I might know them. Like, yo, what's going on? Because of football, yeah, or just knowing people, or whatever. And then as soon as it got to a thing where people are getting hurt, and it's like, okay, people are getting hurt now. Who's who? Do you know what I mean? And then it's like, okay, who's who? And then it's like, oh wait, I just got chased. Who just chased me? I don't even know who just chased me.
I feel
like some boys just chased me. I don't even know who it was. Who was it?
Trying to figure out who it is.
Yeah, and it's like, and now it's just paranoia. Who is who? Because it was a thing of everyone's good, but now it's a thing of I've run for my life 4 or 5 times this weekend. And I don't even know who chased me.
But this is the thing. You know what I'm saying?
This is
the thing. We've got to change that narrative,
Yeah.
because, for instance, in the Caribbean, like, so, we go back home every 2 years, right? Obviously, we couldn't do it in the pandemic, but the point what I'm making, in the Caribbean, you have to say good morning and good evening, even to strangers. It's normal. Now, I'm not quite sure if it's the same in Lithuania, because I haven't been to
in Lithuania, no one really talks to each other.
No.
When we come here,
Yeah.
we found it weird that people that say sorry and that, like, if me and you was walking in a shopping centre and we both like go left and right, you know what I'm saying, trying to pass, I'll just carry on walking, whereas you would, or English person might just say, oh, sorry mate.
Yeah.
That was weird to us at
That's
first.
interesting, because
We said that the country's mad friendly, everyone's just saying sorry and hello and everything to you. Like, why are they apologising? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's interesting that you're saying that, because now I've know something about Eastern Bloc countries, because I've heard that some of them are unfriendly,
Yeah, but that's just how we are.
You know, but see, again, a lot of people would say, because this is what we used to hear, don't go to Eastern Bloc countries, they don't like black people.
Nah.
Right? But then, listening to my man, he's saying, actually, we're just rude to everybody.
That's what I figured out. That's what I figured out.
If anything, we're ruder to each other than we would be to anyone else.
It wasn't until that I started embracing more into Mantas culture, and I started speaking and branching out, speaking to other people, getting to know other people, where I'm like, bro, you lot are just bare rude, innit? like you just are, like, you don't like, because you know what it is? They don't even like, they only like themselves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, for example, Lithuanian people only like Lithuanian people.
Not even though.
They don't like.
Not in London.
They, like
we
within
don't
themselves,
like each other in London.
Yeah.
When we go home, it's kushti, but in London, for some reason,
Yeah. They'll rep their thing. But even within themselves, they don't even really like each other.
So
but then they will not like. You know, like how it is with the Caribbeans. You know, Jamaica is one. Jamaica don't like nobody. Nobody like Jamaica. Yeah. Same thing like with Eastern Europe. Yeah, it just works the same. But because they give it to us, we think it's personal.
But this is
in my opinion, it's not.
That's why I'm thinking.